Hello, I'm Jada Montemarano with your Spectrum News 1 update. An advisory for all LA County beaches has been extended until Friday morning. Bacteria, chemicals, and debris are likely to contaminate ocean waters from the recent rainfall. Health officials are warning residents to stay away from ocean water that's near storm drains, creeks, and rivers.
Time for your weather on the ones. Hi there, meteorologist Robert Santos here. Happy Tuesday. A cloudy one at that, and really cool. You can hardly see out any of these sky cams here. Santiago Peak, you can see just how cloudy it is. Clouds won't disappear. Now we're going to the evening hours. You see some green popping up. That's showing us some scattered showers, just some light stuff through the evening hours. And then let's go to the 7 o'clock commute time tomorrow, and you'll see mostly cloudy and dry. Then as we go throughout the day, late morning tomorrow, we see this coming up for LA and Ventura County especially, and that's going to be the first part of the morning into the afternoon. Then we're watching for the next big wave. This is going to be coming in, basically coming in after midnight, so Thursday morning. So be prepared for this, coming in first to Ventura County and then pushing across, so we can guarantee some wet commutes as we go into Thursday. Now look at our highs for today. Pretty cool. Upper 50s, low 60s, downtown LA, Burbank. And then tomorrow coming up just a couple more degrees, and then that storm hits us early Thursday morning.
Hello, and thanks for tuning in to Spectrum News 1. I'm Jada Montemarano. We start tonight with rain and lots of it. A big storm is set to hit our state overnight. According to the National Weather Service, we'll start to see the first part of an atmospheric river in a matter of hours. And while that rain is great for the dry areas of our state, it has the potential to cause dangerous flooding, with the downpour continuing from tomorrow through Friday. It's especially the case in Northern California. The National Weather Service says the storm there could bring widespread flooding, power outages, and the likely loss of human life, calling it a brutal system that needs to be taken seriously. Well, speaking of, here in Southern California, heavy rain can cause similar problems for communities impacted by recent wildfires, since there's not always much holding back that rushing water. Nikki Kay starts us off with a look at how those living in the Silverado fire burn scar area are preparing for the storm.
This has become routine for Jerry Diaz. Rain in the forecast means bolstering the barricade outside his home on Santiago Canyon Road.
Well, I love the rain. I just not too much of it.
He's lived here since 2012. He loves the green canopy above his roof and the creek that flows through his backyard. But as beautiful as this canyon may be, living here comes with an added cost.
We never used to have a flooding problem until the fire.
The Silverado fire in 2020 left a burn scar. With the steep hillsides of a canyon, following a fire, there's no vegetation or root system to keep mud on the hills. And rain means a higher likelihood that that mud and debris flow can slide downhill into homes.
We're pretty much prepared for it.
Now, Jerry is unburying sandbags he laid out in front of his home 3 years ago to move them elsewhere on his property.
We're having a wet winter, and sometimes these walls give way and it just floods.
Jerry and fellow homeowners in this neighborhood aren't the only ones closely monitoring the forecast this week. Paul Holliday has spent 20 years in fire service. He's on the Swiftwater Rescue Team for Orange County Fire Authority.
Yeah, there's absolutely a heightened alert as we get this predicted rains, anything over a quarter-inch an hour.
And an upcoming significant rain event has OCFA and other agencies in the county prepared to up staff.
Ask the residents to be diligent, do their preparation with sandbags, listen for the warnings coming out for the sheriffs for evacuations.
Jerry has gotten used to it. He has his suitcases packed and ready to go through fire and flood seasons.
Well, I've been through it enough. I'm not really, it's kind of like whatever happens, happens.
Jerry knows the best thing he can do is be prepared and proactive.
But I don't really worry about it. Just, it's life. Life in the canyon.
That's life in the canyon, waiting for yet another storm to pass.
Thanks to Nikki for reporting out in the rain for us. And while it's only expected to continue, LA County health officials are warning the public not to go into the ocean because of the recent storms. A beach water use advisory is in place until Friday morning. Health officials say there are more harmful bacteria and chemicals in the water because of this weather. The advisory could be extended depending on further rainfall.
Our snowpack is actually off to one of its best start in the past 40 years. However, that doesn't mean we're out of the woods quite yet.
But some of the bad news comes with that good news for the mega drought impacting our state, that is. Today, the Department of Water Resources conducted its first snow survey of the season. Officials found our current snowpack is roughly 180% of average, saying it's one of the best starts in the past 40 years. And we could see even more snow because of the storms in our forecast. However, officials did warn that this could bring flooding in the coming days, and that even despite all of this snow, it won't necessarily bring an end to that ongoing drought. And tonight, we are continuing to watch for any updates in Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin's condition, as the sports world watched in horror last night when the safety collapsed on the football field after making a tackle. The 24-year-old is still in critical condition after suffering a cardiac arrest during the game. And of course, football, like other contact sports, carries the risk of many different medical emergencies happening while playing. Timothy Parker brings us a reaction from a former NFL player.
Like many fans today, Kristen Okoye is glued to sports networks, waiting to learn about what happened with Damar Hamlin of the Buffalo Bills, who went into cardiac arrest on Monday Night Football, bringing the game in Cincinnati to a stop.
I texted my friend back and I said, "What's going on?" And they started explaining to me what happened during the game.
He didn't see the play live as he was on a plane to Ontario from Kansas City, where he played in the 1980s. Okoye is known as the Nigerian Nightmare and didn't start playing football until he was 23 years old. And he always took the field with the danger in the back of his mind.
My dad wanted me not to play football because he heard it was very dangerous. I was always afraid that this might happen to one of us, me or my teammates or anybody else.
Despite the concerns over safety, he says the NFL was too great of an opportunity to pass up. And 24-year-old Hamlin was living out his football dreams when in an instant, it went from a game to a medical emergency.
One of the players screaming for help to get out there.
Solace Health Medical Director Dr. Scott Braunstein knows exactly what the doctors on the sidelines were going through. He was once an airway management physician for the NFL, hired in addition to regular team doctors specifically for moments like this.
Every detail from who's going to go in the ambulance with the player to what route the ambulance is going to take to which hospital that's nearest and that can handle a cardiac arrest, all of that is pre-planned and scripted.
Players from the Bills, Bengals, and around the league are now coping with the aftermath of it all. And Okoye says it won't be easy for them to get back on the field.
It's going to be difficult. It's going to be on everybody's mind, every player's mind. But then, you have to go out there and do your job. But just make sure that you're doing the right things. You're playing it the right way.
For now, he, like all of us, are waiting for more news on a scary and unprecedented moment in modern NFL history.
And in some slightly positive news to come out of this tragic situation, we have an update on Damar Hamlin's charity, the Chasing M's Foundation Community Toy Drive. Donations have been pouring in since his injury happened, with the total now at nearly $6 million. His original goal was just $2,500. His family also posting a message on the GoFundMe saying that the fans' generosity and compassion mean the world to them. If you would like to donate, the link is right there on your screen, and you see in this video just how passionate he was. We'll be right back. Here's what else you need to know tonight. Actor Jeremy Renner shared his first post following a snowplow accident that left him critically injured. He thanked fans for their kind words. Renner was outside of his home when the snowplow started to roll into him. And the suspect in the stabbing deaths of 4 university students in Idaho agreed to be extradited from Pennsylvania. 28-year-old Brian Kohberger faces murder charges in the case. Disgraced FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried has pleaded not guilty to charges he cheated investors out of billions of dollars that led to the cryptocurrency exchange's collapse.
Move to adjourn until noon tomorrow.
The question is on the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no.
No.
The ayes have it.
It was a dramatic day in the House of Representatives today. The House did not vote in a new speaker, with Republican leader Kevin McCarthy not receiving the necessary 218 votes needed. The House held 3 votes, and McCarthy came up short each time. The chamber is now adjourned until tomorrow at 9 a.m. This is the first time in a century that the majority leader has failed to secure the speakership on the first ballot. Now back here in California, an accused serial killer went before a judge in Stockton today. Wesley Brownlee was first charged in October with murdering 3 men. Then last month, he was charged with 4 additional counts of murder, stretching all the way back to April 2021. Our Jamie Kennedy was in the courtroom, but he also talked to a Sacramento man whose mother was murdered by an infamous serial killer.
Bringing furniture and other things back to life is something Bill Clausen loves doing. He says, regretfully, he'll never be able to bring back the thing he wishes for the most.
I wouldn't change anything in life. Well, I mean, I'd change my mom's death, but...
In the 80s, Bill's mother, Ruth Monroe, was a business partner of Dorothea Puente, who police say buried 7 people around her house and was ultimately charged with the murder of 9 people, one of those being Bill's mother. With the recent 7 murders in neighbouring Stockton, Bill says it brings back a range of emotions and says he feels for the families affected.
They're being tortured just like we were, especially going through the trial. That's where things pull your heartstrings.
Wesley Brownlee has been arrested and charged with the Stockton murders. A trial date is yet to be set. In his latest appearance on January 3rd, Brownlee's lawyer waived entering a plea on any of the charges against him, saying he hasn't been able to read any documents because of vision issues and needs to see an optometrist. Former Sacramento detective John Cabrera investigated over 300 murders, including numerous serial killers, and was the lead detective on the Dorothea Puente case. Revisiting Dorothea's old house, John says he remembers vividly piecing together all her murders and says Brownlee may be arrested for the Stockton murders, but now comes the hardest part for investigators.
So it becomes very tedious, along with the district attorney looking and being able to put everything in a perspective that they're going to be able to present to a jury and that the jury understands.
Brownlee's attorneys have already begun mounting a rigorous defence, but John says if they choose to use mental health as a defence, it will be a tall task because of the thought and time between the first murders in the Oakland area and the Stockton murders almost a year later.
He gave it a rest period, and I believe he did so to see, of course, if somebody would follow him back, but it didn't. And I think when he felt comfortable, he started doing it again.
In the Dorothea Puente case, she was only convicted of 3 murders. Bill's mother was not one of them and says his mother didn't receive justice in its entirety.
That made me feel really bad, real bad.
Bill hopes investigators and prosecutors are more successful in the Stockton case for all the affected families living with pain.
The technology behind solar panels isn't anything new, but what about capturing solar energy in outer space and transferring it right back to Earth? It may sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, but that's the idea behind this morning's SpaceX launch. Logan Hall shows us how it could revolutionize energy production in the years to come.
3, 2, 1, and liftoff.
Aboard this aircraft is what could be the future of solar energy, a device that can transport solar power to us from space. It was designed back here on Earth by project lead Austin Fikes and his team of fellow engineers at Caltech. He enjoyed the launch, but says it's now time to get back to work.
It was very enjoyable. In our hearts, we know that the important part of the mission is still to come.
The device that launched into orbit aboard a SpaceX rocket will be able to gather solar power from outer space. Then, through an antenna-like technology, that solar power is transferred back to Earth. It's considered an untapped and unlimited supply of solar energy.
It's the type of project you want to be working on, something that's very ambitious, very far out, and just requires an optimism looking forward. And this type of space solar power system in general could be really advantageous for future power systems.
The team says this technology could one day be used to light your home. They also hope it could be helpful in natural disasters, with the potential to power a city when a power grid goes out. Graduate student and researcher Jesse Brunet says he's proud to be paving the way.
Being able to transfer power from space to ground is like this sci-fi idea, but it's exciting from an educational perspective because you're basically paving new ground. You know, maybe this is the stuff that you can include in textbooks 10 years from now.
For Austin, it's all about playing a role in scientific history. He says he finds meaning every step of the way.
Even with the final goal of, like a ridiculous, like a kilometer scale system in space or something like that, along the way there are still meaningful steps that you can take.
If one thing is for certain, it's that this team of engineers is shooting for the stars.
Hopefully it's been something that has contributed to the community. It's made the people who come here, their lives better, that the people who work here, that their lives are better for it.
Birthdays are always special, but turning 100 is quite the achievement, especially for a local restaurant. Coming up, we'll take you to El Cholo to see how they're celebrating the century serving the community.
When people come to a park, and you can just see them kind of come alive with enlightenment and excitement about what they find and what they discover.
And preserving our national parks by getting a tattoo. We visit a tattoo shop in San Diego where an artist is highlighting the natural beauty of our world. Stick with us. It's the beginning of the new year, and with that, it's a good opportunity to look to the future while also reflecting on the past. And that's exactly what local family business El Cholo will be doing, as guess what? They are celebrating their 100th birthday this year. I spoke to the 90-year-old owner about how the restaurant and its employees stood the test of time. Sorting reservations at El Cholo on Western Avenue is only one of the many tasks General Manager Alma Corona completes throughout the day.
This is the last party that we're taking because we're totally booked.
But she wasn't always running this massive restaurant. Actually, Alma never expected to still be working here.
I'm just going to stay here for a little bit, just earn some money and then move forward. But no, it's been 36 years and I'm very happy.
Yes, you heard that right. Alma has been part of the El Cholo team for 36 years, 23 of them as manager. It all started when she was a single mom and needed a way to make ends meet, not taking no for an answer to the manager at the time.
His name was Lucero. He said, you know what, there's nothing available. You have no experience. And I said, and then he says, but the only thing we have is in the kitchen. And I says, well, give me the room and when do I start? And then he just loved that.
And Alma never looked back, calling El Cholo her family, and it's been run by the same family for 100 years. Founded by Alejandro Borges and his wife Rosa in 1923, El Cholo is now run by their grandson Ron Salisbury, with this location on Western now the longest running. Ron says his earliest memories are in these kitchens, not even getting tired of his favorite meal after 68 years officially working for the restaurant.
Enchilada chili relleno, beans and rice. When I was working here every day, I'd eat that for 3 nights in a row. Then I'd have a tostada salad, and then I'd go back to my number 2s.
While the restaurant is celebrating its 100th birthday, Ron is approaching his 90th and hopes to leave a lasting legacy to his customers and employees.
Hopefully it's been something that has contributed to the community. It's made the people who come here, their lives better, that the people who work here, that their lives are better for it, and that when you're done in life, you want to say, I hope I made a difference.
And Ron hopes he's making a difference for the employees and customers that have been supporting him for decades, saying he wouldn't be here without each and every one of them. And Alma couldn't agree more.
We're all family. Even our guests, we treat them as family. And that's what they always say, this is home. We appreciate every time they walk through that door, that we appreciate their business. And here we are, and we're not stopping.
As Alma's El Cholo birthday wish is for another 100 years. Okay, so we all may know someone who has a regrettable tattoo or 3 or 4. And look, no judgment here, but a tattoo artist in San Diego is merging the craft with the great outdoors and creating truly incredible results. Bree Steffen shows us how he's also giving back to our national parks.
With every line, Angel Lopez tries to bring the beauty of nature to life. He's the owner of Outdoor Traditions, where he merges his love of wild places with the American traditional style of tattooing, creating unique and sometimes cheeky designs.
Do something a little bit different, yet,
kind of classic, you could say.
He's always loved being outside, but his passion as an outdoorsman exploded when he started rock climbing several years ago. Now he's using his talent to give back to the places he loves, creating 4 tattoos with some of the most iconic national parks in the West and donating 20% of sales from these designs to the National Park Service.
Instead of just taking and getting your experience and being like, bye, I'm like, okay, well, you know, I'd like to come back, or I'd like my kids to come back, or family, or whoever in the future. So it's important to just show how we love those places. You know?
The one he's working on today is inspired by Arches National Park in Utah. Wendy Gracia went there for the first time on her birthday and says it was an incredible experience she wants to remember.
And I really wanted to get something to commemorate that. And as soon as he posted this flash, I was like, I have to, you know, commemorate like such a fun trip.
She has a few other pieces from Angel and can't wait for him to work his magic again.
The drawing will never be the same as the tattoo, so that's when it comes to life.
Hi there.
Andrea Compton is the superintendent at Cabrillo National Monument, San Diego's only national park. It gets more than 700,000 visitors every year, all of them enjoying the stunning views and historical sites. Andrea says these areas play an important role in connecting people to the world around them.
When people come to a park, and you can just see them kind of come alive with enlightenment and excitement about what they find and what they discover.
Yeah, this is my first time here.
Oh, it is? Yeah. Great.
She believes national parks paint a beautiful picture of who we are as a country and is thankful people are willing to volunteer and donate their talents to help take care of them.
So this place of Cabrillo National Monument right now is also going to be Cabrillo National Monument 100 years from now. That's how special these places are.
A splash of color to capture the vibrant rock and sky completes this tribute to the magnificence of nature.
Ooh, that's sick, dude.
It's cool, right? Yeah, I was stoked on that.
A beautiful reminder to take care of our world.
Tonight, a murder will be committed. My murder.
Once you're dead, will we still be able to talk to you?
Yeah, I'm not playing dead the whole weekend, dude.
This is truly delightful.
Murder mystery fans unite, or just movie lovers in general. I know I'm one of them. In its first 10 days, Netflix's new movie Glass Onion hit 127 million viewers. That makes it the 3rd film from the streaming service to hit that mark in such a short period of time. So if you didn't see the movie in theaters like I did during that first week, it was out for about a little bit before the release on the service, you may have been one of those Netflix subscribers that accounted for 209 million hours of watching that movie. It only trails behind a few others. Thanks so much for watching.